Hi guys, Vitek here. I just wanted to make a quick video update regarding one of the devices I was working on lately. It got delayed because I messed up the PCB design, and I had to make another batch. So this is Brain Tuner, also known as a brain synchronizer, according to Dr. Beck, and that's how the device will look. I'll have a potentiometer with a switch and two switches allowing to change the triggering frequency of 555 chip, providing either half a pulse per second or 5 pulses per second. I determined with the help of another member that there was a mistake on a circuit diagram which is on the internet, and what it looks like 5 and 5.5 pulses per second. Actually it should be 5 and 0.5, which means 1 pulse every 2 seconds. And the second switch is shorting capacitor, so basically is disabling 555 oscillator and is not triggering double oscillator built on a 556. So we have just two waves coming out going to the modulating transformer, 111 Hertz and 1110 Hertz. I'll just quickly show you what's inside. I'm one-handed, so please bear with me. That's how I packed everything into this enclosure. Basically, you can see there is plenty of space available. I just thought perhaps maybe later I'll add another board with timer, which will signal that the session is over, because this, according to Dr. Beck, it shouldn't be used more than half an hour in one session. Longer use is not really beneficial. So what we have here, basically the two chips, 555 and 556, which is basically two 555s in one enclosure. I built my prototype on on two 555s because I didn't have the 556 chip, and it really doesn't matter how you build it. It will work both ways. The transformer, it's from Mauser. The tuning pots for both frequencies, 111 and 1.10 kilohertz, and they should be 10 turns for a more precise tuning. As far as low triggering frequency, I found that 1.5 mega ohm resistor will provide half a pulse per second. So I eliminate the trimmer, and later I also determine the values. So it should be 56 kilo ohms resistor and 100 kilo ohm trim pot. However, I measured the trim pot, and I was exactly on a 100k mark. So instead of trim pot, I just put two resistors, so it's 156 kilo ohms. But again, you have to experiment a little bit with this, because due to the tolerances of resistors and the capacitor, it might be different in your case, maybe 148, 146. So 1.5 meg, it's pretty safe bet here for a slow pulse, but for a 5 hertz you should experiment, or just use a trim pot, 100k trim pot and 56k resistor, and you should be fine. One important thing what I discovered when I run into some issues with tuning is the capacitors. Definitely the capacitor for the 555 1 microfarad should be tantalum type, not any other one, because it will cause drifting of the frequency. And the same issue applies to the two oscillators built around 556. They are, according to original schematics, they were 220 nanofarads and 4.7 nanofarads. I changed the second one. I put 10 nanofarads because I didn't have any 4.7, and I adjust the resistors. So and just quick look at the schematics. So basically what I changed this to, I use 10 kilo ohm trim pot and 56 kilo ohms fixed resistor and 10 nanofarad capacitor. In the upper one I increased the resistance of the fixed resistors from 22k to 30k, and I used a smaller 10-turn trim pot. You can use any combination, but if you get higher with the fixed resistor and use the smaller trim pot on a 10 turns, will give you more precise adjustment. So since we are tuning down to 1 pulse per second, this is really important. It's much better use the smaller trim pot and increase this one than the other way around. And these two capacitors, they have to be good capacitors. I tried before. I bought couple hundreds of these ceramics capacitors, and they are useless here. They respond to slight temperature change, and even if I was holding a PCB and touching a capacitor with my fingers, it will cause the fluctuation of the output frequency up to a couple pulses per second. So that's unacceptable. And so later what I did, I used this type. They are polypropylene or metallized or mylar perhaps. They should be fine, but not discs, not those ceramics capacitors. You will run into issues when you try to use them. I have two boards made on a one. I start populating this one, and I have another one. I'm just waiting for a trim pot. This is temporary. It's only 1 turn trim pot. It's tuned, but it's very touchy. So I'm waiting for the 10-turn trim pots, and these two will be put in place, and this will be ready. I have more PCBs. I have about 18 PCBs left. So if anyone is interested in making his own, I can provide them. I'll just give you a quick look at the scope shot of output wave. I'm just powering right now from the power supply, but really the battery dry cell should be used for this. I don't like idea of using wall adapters due to the possible leaking of mains frequency and their harmonics and mixing with the frequencies of the tuner. So I don't recommend using this with the external power source such as wall adapter. battery, or perhaps rechargeable battery would be much better choice. Now what I'm looking for, I'm looking for these probes. I'm trying to see behind the camera. I need a ground. Now to swap hands. Now there are two resistors coming from the outputs of 556. So when I clip on this one and turn the power on, of course, I should read 111 Hertz. That's the output, that's the pin number 9 on a 556, and yeah, and that's what we get, 111. Now if I switch to output, that's a 2.2 kilo ohm resistor, the one which goes to 3 signal diodes and further to the transformer. Now if I can reach the resistor on the other side, which is 22K, okay, I should read 1110, and that's what we have. So the frequencies are okay, and so I can take them off, and I want to show you the scope shot. That's the scope shot of on the output. I don't know how clearly you can see this. That's what you should see on the cables going to the ear electrodes. That's the 50 volt scale right now. So okay, so that's our peak to peak amplitude. It's showing 162 volts peak to peak right now, which is about to correct. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. One more thing I almost forgot. When you build this, what I did at first, I made the test bed, one for 556, and I made a separate for 555. This way you can easily test everything, make sure, tune it, and then transfer to PCB. I can show you quickly. It takes only a minute to assemble this. I have right now 1.5 meg resistor, so that's lower pulse rate, and as an indicator I use LED with the 470 ohms resistor in series plugged between the pin 1, which is ground, and the output pin 3. So that's a pretty simple test bed. You can test your 555 and adjust both resistors, and then you know for sure that when you transfer them to PCB you have no surprises. And the same thing can be done with the 556. So that's a good idea, much better than unsolder component and possibly ruin PCB, because you will have a faulty component. One more thing, the ear clips. I'm using the same medical grade cables. They have a 3.5 millimeter plug on the output, and I've used these clips before and they were fine. I've used them for about 5 months, and they are okay. However, my wife was complaining that they are a little bit too tight on the ears. I didn't find a problem, but perhaps people with the sensitive earlobes, they should reconsider. I recently got these, and I found they are much easier to apply because they are bigger, not as tiny and flimsy, and they are much easier to apply, and I don't feel them on my ears when I put them on. I don't really feel that I have anything on it, and my wife said that they are much easier on ears, so they work pretty good. What I do, I always wipe them with the conductive gel, the same I use for Dr. Beck blood electrifier, and they work fine. So anyway, that's about it, what I wanted to share in this video. And device works, and I've been testing this for the past few months, and it works. It works, and it's not a snake oil. It really does what Dr. Beck claimed. Anyway, if I can be of any help or assistance, you can contact me on Energy Science Forum. Subforum is Electronic Healing Devices, and my username is same as YouTube, Black Chisel 97. Thank you for watching.